want to congratulate Fratanga for reaching 7,000 subscribers to his channel.
At long last, what I subscribe to you for, Frit. Trash-talking PlayStation. Please don't ever change.
That's what we've been waiting for!
You guys are too easy. I bust my stick trying to put out the videos I want, only for you guys to throw the dish off the table. Well, behold, I have some amazing salt for you, and another one on the way too. I decided to leave the salt game with Alex for just a little bit, and he completely made it cringe and unwatchable, so here I am to bring you the cringe you want without the cringe you don't want.
Hey everyone, I made Chummy Joe!
8K, 120 FPS, ray tracing. The PS5 is a very powerful oh, wait a minute. Weren't these supposed to be the specs for the PS5 Pro? I mean, it says 8K on the box. We were promised ray tracing. We were promised 120 FPS, insanely fast loading times that would leave high-end gaming PCs in the dust, and here we are, requiring a pro version of this console to exist. If that doesn't say anything to you about how underwhelming the current gen consoles are, then I don't know what else will. Back when the PS5 super fast Messiah SSD was revealed, we were told this console would be doing things the highest end PCs on the market couldn't, even though we had no evidence at the time to even support such a claim. Now that time has passed by, it's obvious that claim was utter bullshit.
One game, I don't know why. I bought a PS5 with no games to buy. Keep that in mind, they designed this drive to improve load and times, that's all I know.
Well, that's not fair, Frit. You're a PC Master Race elitist. No matter what, you're always gonna view consoles as inferior. Well, that's because they always are, each and every single time. I think people forget this channel was built on PC elitism. I don't ever see that changing, and this PS5 Pro is the reason why. Absolutely underwhelming performance from the current gen consoles. So the solution is to go and buy an entirely new console that's supposed to have increased bandwidth and a beefed up GPU, slightly overclocked CPU, and suddenly all our issues are supposed to be gone. What you talking about, Frit? PS5 Pro is supposed to be on the same level as a goddamn 4080. You don't know anything about tech. We're gonna listen to Mark Cerny, who totally didn't lie to our faces. And yet, for some reason, every single PlayStation fanboy always falls for this. They think that they're going to be getting the equivalent of a $3,000, $2,000 gaming PC for $600, when Sony can barely afford to give you the current gen PS5 for $500. Oh, but we can't let a little bit of actual information and facts get in the way of our fantasy specs. You goddamn hater, Frit. You're just a hater. You hate our console. That is correct, I do. But it's backed by facts and evidence.
PC gamers, I hate them so much.
Not backed by the limited knowledge on consoles and hardware you've had since you were a child. Potential PS5 Pro specs from Moore's Law is dead. This is versus the regular PS5. 45% more raw performance to increase frame rates. 67 T-flops, over triple the T-flop performance. 2 to 3 times faster ray tracing? Hell does that even mean? Includes PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Machine learning tech. Has dynamic input resolution. Should look better than TAAU and FSR2. Of course, take it with a grain of salt. The console is expected at the end of the year. Of course I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. What do you think I am, retarded? Who actually falls for this kind of reporting, by the way? Oh, I know who. Gullible console fanboys who bought into the PS4 Pro hype last generation, just like the Xbox guys did with the One X. Not learning their lessons, not learning their place. You are still beneath PC gamers, always will be. There's nothing you can do about it. What, just because Moore's Law is dead said it? We should all just believe it? That's like when Digital Foundry tells me 30 FPS is playable. Oh, just believe it because Digital Foundry said it. For instance, let me ask you, where is this type of benchmarking even coming from? What games are being tested? This is all on paper stuff. In theory, it should be 45% faster, but is that actually going to be what we see? I'm going to assume that's not the case. And yet that doesn't stop ponies from saying things like, game over Xbox. Or things like,
I trust Mark 30.
Even though Ratchet & Clank has been proven to not require a PS5 SSD to run properly. Those expectations, no matter what you do, cannot be kept in check. New hardware breeds excitement. Unfortunately, the excitement comes from some of the lowest IQ individuals on the planet. You needed more than a 2070 to match the PS5 with Death Stranding, despite at a modular level the PS5 GPU being close to a 2070. Games like Death Stranding directors get pushed close to parity with the 3070 on a PS5, well above its weight. You're coming at this from a modular hardware perspective, whereas most people are coming at this from a game's utilization of the hardware. Be it modular or in the PS5/PS5 Pro case, the sum of its parts. At NXG has multiple times broken this down. PS5 can vary from a typical 2070 rig to close to my own 3070 rig's performance based on the game's utilization of hardware. This is why the ROI value proposition of a PS5 Pro will most likely be market disruptive, whether you like it or not. You would need a disproportionately higher performance PC at a modular level to run Death Stranding 2 at parity with the PS5 Pro. A 2070 couldn't match a PS5's performance with the first game after all. Never mind the majority of that nonsense. There's only one part of that entire post that caught my attention. The proposition of the PS5 Pro being market disruptive. How many times have we heard this one? They never get tired of peddling the same message about their upgraded console models all the time. They really think the PS5 Pro is gonna disrupt the market. The Pro models are usually almost always the lowest selling models of all the consoles. How are you gonna disrupt the market when you can't even match the sales of the base model? The Pro version of the PS4 accounted for 20% of the overall sales of the 4th gen PlayStation. Tell me, with numbers like that, how are you expecting this to disrupt the market? Do you think people are really gonna ditch their PCs in favor of a Pro model? Because that hasn't happened a single time in history. As short of a history as Pro console models have. But their existence isn't new, and it's just as predictable as ever because the CPU is identical to the standard PlayStation 5. However, the Pro has a high CPU frequency mode, a 10% increase over the standard console.
Something very familiar about all this.
Come on! These guys really thought to themselves, oh yeah, Sony's just gonna grab top of the line PC components and just shove them into a $600 box and make life easier for everyone. Meanwhile, I'm here testing out my bro's standard PS5 digital, and I have no idea how people have had to deal with console UIs for this long. Oh my god, it's like torture. Whoever invented the console UI needs to be charged with crimes against humanity. Navigating this thing is a nightmare. But anyway, this is the same approach both Sony and Microsoft took with their Pro model consoles, keeping the same CPU. And, well, for obvious reasons, compatibility issues, making sure it's affordable, and obviously, they're not gonna just throw a brand new stinking CPU that's 3 times more powerful into this console, because they may as well just make a brand new console if they did that. So what does this mean for it? Well, it means whoever wants to take advantage of the hardware will be able to get a bit more out of it than a standard PS5, but you really can't go wrong just getting a standard PS5. If you want significant results, you're gonna have to get a PC, because a Pro model console is just not going to deliver you staggering results across the board like an actual dedicated gaming PC. You'll be lucky if any developer takes advantage of this thing. Now, I know what you're thinking, man, I didn't subscribe to this guy who made anti-woke content just so he could smear PlayStation. It's all fun and games until you make fun of the sacred cow. All I'm doing is being skeptical, level-headed, and rational, because ain't no pro model ever going to give you next-gen performance. That's why there are next-gen consoles and mid-gen refreshes. Current gen just can't handle the games. You know, I mean, it makes you wonder, what's the point of a pro model console in this current industry where nobody can optimize anything? Hell, what's the point of a pro model if not all developers are guaranteed to even take advantage of it?
Some folks attempted to answer my question about like what's with all the negativity that we were seeing about the PS5 Pro, and they said Xbox fans and PC Master Race gamers are just jealous.
Okay, now, Xbox guys, sure, maybe you could argue that, but PC players? PC players being jealous of a PS5 Pro? Are you out of your mind? We're not even jealous of the current gen consoles. Not only do we have all the games, but not everything is guaranteed to even have a 60 FPS option for the consoles. And what world is a PC gamer jealous of something that is clearly inferior? What? Can't believe this is the man Alex used to cap for.
It's certainly hard not to notice that the trend of hardcore PC guys and hardcore Xbox guys are kind of linking arm in arm to consistently speak negatively about anything that PlayStation does. They're strange bedfellows, but they are seemingly partners in this effort. I just don't understand why they care.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the PC and Xbox players banding together. You know, you ever wonder if this man ever thought to himself, why is it Xbox and PC gamers that come out to talk trash? Well, maybe it might just be because you're a massive PlayStation fanboy. You ever thought about that? You ever thought that maybe fanboying and arguing with people is gonna get other platform users to come shit talk you? The persecution complex is absolutely insane with this one. They think they're fighting off an army of rabid PC users and Xbox users.
If your PC is so great, who cares if PlayStation fans buy or want a stronger console? And if you're a hardcore Xbox fan, why do you care? Every screen's an Xbox, right? This is just another screen for consumers to play Xbox games on.
That's very brilliant, Reforge. Well, you came up with that one in the shower. You told yourself the next morning, ooh, I'm gonna make sure I sneak that jab in my little rant. Really get him. Unfortunately for you, I will never touch an Xbox. But as a PC user, if these PS5 guys want to come into my comment section and tell me, you're done, it's over for you, the PS5 Pro is right around the corner, I'm going to respond publicly, like everyone else. You guys get one little whiff. Oh, that nice Pro model console. Better type up my console war essay for tomorrow's stream.
Whenever like a new GPU hits the market, I don't find myself caring to comment about why people buy it or why people spend money constantly upgrading their hardware, because it just doesn't concern me. I don't care to comment on how often people upgrade their phones. Like, how dare they do that? Why are you doing that? You're getting ripped off. Like,
this is no different though, Reforged, than whenever some sort of Xbox news drops and you don't even play on the console or have interest in it. Same can be asked out of you. Why do you care what they're doing over there on Xbox? Why do you care what they're doing on PC? You don't play on those platforms. The PS5 Pro just caught our attention, and the news is mostly amusing to us.
So it just seems strange how preoccupied some folks are with what PlayStation does or what fans of PlayStation, tend to do.
Yeah, and then you'll spend about 10 minutes of your stream ranting about the games being ported to PC, looking over the fence. What are they doing over there? Stop it. But I'll tell you one thing, if you did bring up GPUs and talk about new PC hardware, the channel will be a lot more interesting. But let's face it, you don't even know the basics.
Really feeling like that stop having fun meme, if you've seen that, where somebody like walks in the room and they're like, stop having fun. That just really feels like it's getting rooted into the gaming spaces lately, where, people are just angry that folks are having a good time or buying products that they like.
What are you talking about? The PS5 Pro isn't even available. Nobody owns one. How's anybody trying to ruin anyone else's fun, unless by fun you mean having fun speculating some fantasy specs and getting a hard-on thinking to yourself this is going to be the PC killer? Because if that's the fun you're referring to, then yeah, I'll gladly ruin that one. because it's fun for me.
Like first it was Helldivers 2, and now it's the PS5 Pro. I guess we're not supposed to buy products or play games that we enjoy.
I would like to know who is telling you this, and if you could actually put it on screen for everyone to see, please and thank you.
Which I think some have diagnosed this as jealousy. They said, listen, this isn't negativity, it's jealousy, right? And I don't like to project emotional states onto other people.
Yeah, of course, from the man who just a few months ago was weaponizing self-harm. Okay, yeah, my ass, sure.
But as someone who was very disappointed with the Series X this generation, if it was my primary console, I would definitely feel a certain kind of way about how PlayStation is treating the console consumer versus how I have been treated, right? If that's where I primarily gamed, because my Series X hasn't gotten very much action at all since I bought it, I would be pretty irritated.
You're in the same boat as the Xbox guys. What makes you think you're any different? PlayStation's been treating us PC users like gods. They don't charge us for online. They give us better performance, cheaper games. You're in the same camp as the Xbox guys. I'm not sure how a Pro model all of a sudden makes you feel better about your console that still has no games. But seriously, this is the same mentality a 12-year-old would have if they were console warring. And the sad thing is, I don't see kids of that age console warring. I only see adults console warring like you.
If I was a hardcore PC guy, I just don't think I would be bothered. There was a time where I primarily played on PC. I was playing for Destiny 2 and Fortnite. I wanted 60 FPS, and I couldn't get that on the consoles at the time. It never bothered me that folks continued to prefer console. It didn't bother me that they preferred 30 FPS. Even today, there are people who aren't bothered by 30 FPS, and I just don't care. It's just a preference thing.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Sure. Whatever. Let's just say that's true. Why does none of that bother you, but when the games go to PC, it does? Could it be because you don't like the idea of a better version that's cheaper, not attached to a console existing? I won't forget your rant from last year, Reforge, where you told PC gamers to stop stealing your games and go get their own. Every single time. Every mid-gen refresh. False narratives. Hopium. The truth is, they don't like you taking away their fantasy specs. They want the console to be as powerful in their heads. And the minute you tell them, no, stop, that's delusional, this is the reaction you get out of them. This is probably why people even come to this channel in the first place. Things like this. Well, if you want more, you know what to do. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until then, be seeing you in the next one.
Fritango sucks ass.